be a freaking amazing year. Happy New Year, everybody. I got a pretty cool announcement. I think that it's beneficial for all of us, right? So I don't ever want anybody to hear anything on this call that sounds like alarmingly cool. And you're like, well, good for you guys, but what about me? Because if you've done deals with us before, if you're doing deals with myself and Daniel, you're looking for stuff, we're working on stuff together. I mean, it all feeds back into the community, right? All this earnest money and surveys and all this other crap we got to pay for, down payments, all that stuff. It benefits everybody that's doing the work. But we're looking to pull in almost $2 million in the next 60 days, right? The first M comes on Friday. And then we have probably like 900,000 plus in sales spread out over the next couple of weeks after that. So in less than 60 days, we'll pull in 2 million for the first time. I think that probably tops all of our all-time sales so far.
Yep, 100%. This is gonna be the best we've ever done.
You know, so especially in the shortest amount of time. I was listening to Kevin O'Leary, the dude, the bald guy from Shark Tank, and he said making that first million is damn near impossible. He's like, it just never comes. He said, but after that, the second one's easier. So I think we made every bit of, not last year, the year before, I think we closed out right over $1 million in sales. And then I haven't even tallied up what we did this year, but now it's like, I feel like we.
2022 we did $1 million. 2023 we did a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say it sounds like we pulled in what we pulled in the last 2 years almost, and we're gonna pull it in like in 45 to 60 days. So things are progressing, things are moving faster. Congrats to you, Daniel, and everybody involved that's doing deals with us. But yeah, the momentum's building, guys. Everything we talked about, everything we've been promising for the last several years, it's all coming to fruition now. We have 3 recordings or 4. It says the future of the Hivemind is what they're called. And I mean, it's all playing out exactly like we talked about it. So super exciting stuff. I just got a text today about 2.5 hours ago. The gentleman says, hey, I got somebody that wants to throw $10 million into y'all's land deals. So this is a second set of 10 million that's looking at us right now. And this is pretty exciting times, man.
Yep, pretty exciting time. So how this correlates with everybody here is that feeds the machine. It goes into, at least kind of said, alluded to it, didn't really explain what it did till the end, but it feeds back into earnest money, it feeds back into buying deals, it feeds back into paying wholesalers, it feeds back into all the stuff that we do here. So I'm excited. It's gonna be a good year.
So I tell you, having the cash on hand it's going to be cool, because when you guys bring a deal now, you know, we're structuring it, seller finance and 0 down and all this crazy stuff, so you can buy a big property, multi-million-dollar property with little to nothing out of pocket. But having the cash on hand now, you know, I don't think we should convert over to buying things 100% for cash. We should still stick to our creative finance and seller finance strategies. But now having the cash on hand is going to give us a lot of flexibility, man.
Yep, we can be a little bit of bullies. So if we find a bigger property, we can put 20% down, 25% down. I mean, even 40% down if it makes sense. So, and we can buy cash. I mean, we can buy, if we get a deep enough discount, we can buy cash. So, it gives us a lot of flexibility on our side, and your side with making offers and negotiating, talking to the seller. So, one thing I talked to Anthony today, I was like, any deals that were on the fence, right now may be a time to recheck up the conversation. We're looking to contract some stuff because we may have that capital availability in the next 45 days or less. So anything we lock up now is going to go straight to that, for that capital allocation. So I'm excited about that. So everything that we've touched, we're going back to and recontacting and reconnecting, because if you lost a deal and for whatever reason, go back and hit them again, or give it to somebody else and go back and hit it again. And guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, it didn't sell. So somebody else can hit that lead, or you can hit that lead again and restrike that lead and turn it into a fire again.
Yeah, I tell you, we've been getting a lot of callbacks now. Ruben got one. So yeah, people that you touched 6 months ago, a year ago, we preach on it all the time. Touch them, try to negotiate. They'll shut you down. No, they want too much. They're not ready to sell right now. Put them on an automatic follow-up indefinitely, right? Forever. The text message says, hey, did you sell the property yet? And it doesn't say anything else. I hit them every 90 days, right? You can do that automated through the CRM, any CRM. You can do a free CRM, and just hit them every 90 days. Have you sold the property yet? And just do that indefinitely. People come back, they got to sell, situations change. People that said they weren't open to seller finance are now saying they're open to terms now. So these properties don't go anywhere, guys. They're going to sit there. So I know you guys get excited. You're like, we got to send something now. These properties aren't going anywhere ever. So I think we're in the perfect niche, perfect field, perfect market. Things are still selling. We're still selling a ton of properties, surprisingly so. I mean, I thought with the recession, we might slow down. But if anything, I think we're speeding up just a little bit. So plenty of opportunity right now, guys. And I think this year the interest rates are going to start softening up a little bit. So I think we're going to have a little mini boom right before the election. So now's the time to go to work.
Now's the time to go to work. 100%. So for everybody here, 2024 is going to be the year, man. I'm excited. Today, I know Anthony's probably at the airport running around. I was going to cover a live sales call. I posted a link in the group. I'm actually going to play it here and we'll break down the call. We had back in October, we recorded this. We had the opportunity to record a live sales call. So I'll play the video and I'll pause it at key points. If you guys want to make comments in the thing, we kind of break down different things that Anthony says. In the video, if you haven't seen it already, but I did a questionnaire or a poll inside the group about 2 weeks ago about more things you guys wanted to see, and I had like 2 or 3 people hit up that they wanted live seller calls. So I think this is a perfect one to kind of go over since we actually have a video for it. So not all the recordings have a video, but this one does, and I just released it today, so it's very fresh off the presses, and hopefully I'll like it and learn something off of it. The call is pretty cool because the seller is very abrasive at front, and then he convinces them at the end, and they're like, "Oh, I think we should really buy this property." So let me jump into it, and then
It's a buyer, right? It's a buyer calling it.
It's a buyer call, yeah. It's a buyer call. All right, here we go.
Hey Jess, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. How about yourself?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. So what's going on?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. Well, Daphne tells me that you're interested in the 15 acres over at Castro.
I am.
Okay, great. So in order to do those seller finance, your basically the property price would be 517.5. Your payment we can do 10% down. So you're looking at about probably 57,000 after closing cost. And it'll be go for it. Actually, I'm gonna send you a picture of the actual amortization so you can see it exactly how it is. Okay.
That's what you're going over. That's different than I got it already. 758, something like that, right?
Give or take, yes, ma'am.
Okay. That's with the seller finance. And I know there's a difference, right? There's a different price between the seller finance and the cash price. But what I want to talk about is the no doc options. I did have a conversation with Kate. Yes, Casey from Farm Credit. We talked about several options, right?
Sure.
With the no doc, it seems reasonable, but at the same time, there's a lot of extras. Like there's, of course, the closing costs you have to consider, and
Yes, ma'am.
other fees associated with closing a loan, just like anyway. Right? They're really high. I don't know if the fund is not really high.
Sure.
Also the term. I think the term she mentioned was like 20 years or 25. That's in there.
Okay.
Intention for this property, if I were to follow through with this one, is to live on the land and actually just sell all of it. That's just so fun. But I'm not being quite honest. I mean, I feel like it is rather expensive. I can feel what and I would just and
Okay, yeah, either way that you want to run it, we're happy to service it either way. On this property, is it gonna be a long-term hold, or are you doing a 1031 or anything like that?
I would prefer to do a long-term hold, if I'm being honest. I mean, I know it'll. Right now, the market is so unpredictable, right? But I'd like to hold it, to be quite honest.
Okay, so in that property, we've sold every acre, every tract on that property has gone for 29,000 cash. right? And then we are open to the idea of seller financing, but it really doesn't benefit us from a lender's perspective. So if I have to go borrow the money, then it costs me something, right? But then if I end up with seller financing to you, then it leaves us holding the bulk of the debt, and I'm okay with that. But there's, as long as we're paying for that money, so that's why there's a little bit higher sales price on that seller finance situation. So I think the price is very fair. I talked with Citri from the county before we worked on the subdivide and how we were going to break it up. And he has two big ranches, bigger than mine, and he's selling them for 60 and 70,000 an acre in Castroville. We got that big giant Microsoft plant coming. So at 29,000 right now, I think we're at 50 cents on the dollar. So if I end up having to get a loan to close out on everything the way we're planning on developing it out, then I can't offer that discount anymore. I can't sell it for 29. So that's why if you pay a little bit more for seller finance, then you're kind of in the deal with us. And then if you just pay cash, you're getting an amazing deal. And if you plan to develop that lot, like maybe put some like flex space right now, that's very popular. I would invest with you into that flex space. So I was just kind of curious what you were planning on doing with it. If it was like going to be for residential.
Partially residential, not fully.
Have you seen the front that's flood zone?
Sorry?
Have you seen the front that's flood zone?
The front that is flood zone.
Yeah, that whole highway, all 281, that county road, FEMA's showing it in the flood zone for whatever reason. So just FYI, the front portion of that property is showing flood zone.
Is it really?
Yeah.
All right. So one thing I want to say on that part is Anthony's the seller was kind of saying it's expensive in the front end. And then he kind of solidifies why he wants them to take the seller finance offer. And then he's giving them any type of curveball that some sellers would say, essentially, oh, being the flood zone, have them do their own due diligence, all that stuff. He's saying upfront, so he's trying to build up confidence and trust with the buyer.
Yeah,
I was not aware.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so that we have a map and we can show you. You can develop like the back half of the lot, but right against the
only the back half of the lot, because it does have two entrance points, right?
Yeah, that's what's so beautiful about it. And someday when that flood zone gets remediated or you do a flood study and you can get it corrected, you could probably subdivide that lot to a couple pieces, which drives up the value immensely. So that's why I'm just like, just depending on what you're going to do with it, I can help you have an exit strategy. But if you already have an exit strategy, amazing.
So one thing that Anthony does a lot is he gives them the exit strategy on how to monetize the opportunity. Because one thing that we do is we're in multifamily, they call it leaving meat on the bone, and wholesalers say leaving meat on the bone. So he's essentially creating this meat on the bone to sell to the end buyer for them to buy it and give them a reason to buy it and show them ways to monetize, because they might, like she said, she's going to hold it. She might not even know how to monetize that lease. She just wanted to buy land. But now Anthony's kind of putting in her mind, hey, you could do this, you could do this. You can give her options on why it's a good opportunity to buy at his price. And she was concerned about the price in the beginning.
And I have one in mind, but it's not concrete,
Well, I'm super happy to talk about it. We do a lot of land plays, development plays. We develop a lot of flood land, ranches. We do 0 houses, 0 commercial buildings. We're just ranch people, and we're pretty good at it.
No, I believe that. And I'm so sorry. What company are you with? Who are you just?
I'm a private individual, but I have a LLC that I buy properties through. We're starting a.
So Anthony does this a lot too. I'm really glad I'm doing this like play by play. It's so good. Anthony always says he's a private individual because he never wants to seem like he's some big, large entity. A lot of people in Texas, they like that Texas dynamic. So he never puts himself as he's a big operator, big developer. He's just, I'm a regular individual. I'm just a guy.
Private equity fund. I have a lot of private investors behind me. So we buy and sell in different entities.
Got it.
Yep. We have a TV show we're working on right now, and it's not officially TV, but like YouTube TV. We have over 1,500 videos, but we're starting a TV show called Texas Ranch Flippers.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
How exciting.
It's fun. It's been a fun ride. I think the people that live in Texas, we should own the land. We should teach each other how to distribute it.
Did you want to say, Veronica? Do you want to say something, Veronica? You have a question?
No, I just wanted to say congratulations, bro.
Yeah, we're working. So the whole video TV show thing, that's just to build credibility with sellers and buyers. That's all it is. It's just marketing strategies and social media to build credibility, which is why we always say, if you're planning to do this long term, doing social media is just a bonus.
Oh,
It takes
yeah.
a lot of time. It takes a lot of
I
time
agree.
to work it, but it's a bonus. So if you're
Hey,
planning to do this
also,
long term, go ahead, Anthony.
no, I was gonna say just on that same note, if you guys do not have the credibility, right? If you're not working on a YouTube channel and you don't have anything that's public facing, you can always use ours, right? Third party credibility. So
Mhm.
if somebody's like, "Well, what company are you with?" Well, I'm an individual. I just buy, I tell people I'm a general contractor still. I still, help with a couple of those things here and there, even though my company's officially shut down. But any of you guys can use that. Say, yeah, in our network we have like almost 1,500 YouTube videos. Like, oh, cool. Can you send me that link? Yep. Anytime any buyer or seller does research on us online, I don't know where it takes them or what when they go into the Google universe, but they always end up selling to us when they go research us. So you guys can use our third party credibility when you're talking to somebody. Well, how do I know you guys are a real deal? How do I know you guys aren't gonna whatever? Say like, oh, I can send you several links from our YouTube channel and all that stuff. You guys are affiliated with Hivemind, so you can use those links freely too.
So the trick is you just tell them to do Anthony go into land, and then it just comes up. And we worked really hard to make sure our name comes up for if you search our name and land, both of us. So you can just do that. And then you can also go to, I told Marvin today, TexasRanchFlippers.com.
At times, all it takes is for me to tell them that I'm part of the Hivemind group in San Antonio. And then they say, "Oh, so you're with Anthony Gaona."
See?
And so that's how, they're just like, "Oh, okay. I know Anthony," or "I've heard of Anthony," or, you know, that's when they kind of, ease up a little more, and they know you guys are well known.
We've worked really hard at that, okay? So
Yeah.
it's not a gimmick and it's not an accident. We really worked hard at that. So
Oh no, I know that. I know it comes with a lot of sacrifice, dedication, and most definitely hard work. I know that it didn't happen overnight, but it feels good. It feels good to be part of something that they're just like, hey, we know Anthony, we're familiar with them, or we're familiar with the Hive Mind group, and they know, and now they kind of, when they start the phone call, kind of tighten up, and you feel them at the end of that call, or somewhat at the end of that call, kind of ease up a little more, with you, and now kind of get personal, talk about their life, and they're just like, oh yeah, now it's like that comfort level that comes from them, for the simple fact that you said, you're with someone that's known. It just completely changes everything else. But it feels good. It feels good to be something, a part of something amazing, and something that's growing. So again, congratulations, you guys. And I just, I can't say it enough that I'm blessed to be with you guys.
thanks, Veronica. Did you want to add something to Anthony? All right.
Yeah, I was gonna say that both buyers and sellers now have said that they recognize us. So when we're talking, like again, I'm like, oh, I'm just an individual, and the more you get to talking, you're like, well, we have a YouTube channel, and like, oh, what's it called? Oh, Hivemind. Hey, I've heard of Hivemind. Like, bam, it's worked with buyers and sellers now, where people are starting to recognize the brand. So I would definitely, leverage that if you just kind of casually mention it and see what happens, especially in Texas, right? Because we're so concentrated here. But even Rooster's seen it a bunch of times too now. People have asked his students, like, hey, are you affiliated with Rooster and Hivemind? And so, I mean, it's starting to become a pretty big deal now. So you might use it as your calling card. And if they just ignore it or they don't bring it up after you mention the name, then of course they've never heard of it. Just skirt on to something else. But either way, you can try to toss it out there and just see what happens. It's proving to be.
All right, we lost him. I'm gonna jump back into the video. He's at the airport, so we might lose him in and out.
To each other before foreign entities come in and pick it up. So I'm pretty passionate about it.
Right, so of course, we have everyone outside trying to buy our land.
And yeah, exactly. So if somebody comes in and they're like, oh, we kind of don't want to sell to them for whatever reason, then we just block them. Like, I'm not killing for profit. Like, we're here to help the people that are around us.
All right, so that one's a big one too. We've been using that one a lot too. A lot of Texas and Americans like Americans owning Texas land. So there's a big push check out the episode. We call it the Water Wars. It's a couple episodes ago. But you can look up Hive with Us podcast Water Wars. There's like foreign entities from like Asia buying up Texas land because we have water resources. So there's a whole other thing. So Texas, they like the ownership of Texas buying Texas land, and we make sure we reciprocate that when we're selling too. Which is breaking up a little bit here.
I don't know if my connection went down or yours did, but I cannot understand what you're saying. It's all robotic. There, it's Anthony. I'm back.
Okay, recall.
You disappeared into the matrix. Okay, I forgot where we were. I can calculate it. I would say it's probably 50% or better. 50% or better? Yeah. It really depends what you want it for. If you're going to want to develop multifamily and build apartment complexes, it ain't happening. If you want to develop like a farm and grow something and have chickens and goats and cows and horses, dream property. This is the best property we have. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I'd like to eventually like subdivide it down the years and possibly just do like individual properties on the back end. I can show you how to subdivide it correctly where it would get approved by city, county, all that stuff. But it's a lengthy process, like I said, because you're gonna have to do a flood study. There's a lot of involvement that would have to happen before you can get it to that state. So like I said, it just depends how in love you are with the property, how much profit you're trying to make, what kind of yield are you looking for, right? So and if you threw up a barn door on here and got some horses and some cows, there's never going to be a property better than this one. The whole thing is hay pasture, so it's perfect for the animals. There's like a lot of reasons. Oh, you shouldn't have told me that. Now I'm going to raise the price 10%.
So this is a good one too. Anthony, he likes like your call with sellers or buyers shouldn't be a sales call. So he jokes around and makes them laugh in some way, shape, or form. And he does this on almost every call. So you got to find a way to be personable to make the seller laugh. And I think that should be the goal in your call to make the seller laugh because it's not when you make the seller laugh or buyer laugh, it's no longer a sales call. Even though it might be, but in their perception, it's not.
Everything we sent you was all false.
Go watch that video.
Anthony back.
Yeah.
What's up?
I was gonna say, watch that manufacturing happiness video because it's not like you're not being fake on the phone by getting them to laugh. It's getting them poking fun at people, trying to get them laugh, trying to like lift their spirits, lift our own spirits, and so it's very easy when you're doing it to your business family. It's easier to do it to your buyers and your sellers on the phone.
So you're breaking up a little bit, but essentially what he said is, there's a video we did called Manufacturing Happiness. It says that you try and brighten somebody's day any way you can in any different situation when you're talking to people because you don't know the ramifications of that conversation. So I put the link in there. If you haven't seen it, go save it. It's a cool video. And we lost him again. All right, we're gonna jump right into it.
Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, it's a cool property. We people, developers that are going to throw up houses, they avoid creeks and wetlands and everything. And we think it's hilarious because that's how we buy, right? So they're passing on all of it, and we're the ones collecting all the ponds, all the rivers, all the creeks, all the pigs, all the deer. That's all us. So yeah, good luck, KB Homes. You know what I mean? They're not taking Texas. They're not taking Texas, I promise you. One last thing is if you could just throw the numbers my way that we talked about, I'd be grateful. I know we talked about the conventional, we talked about the 57%, I'm sorry, not 50%, 57,000 an acre, you said, right? Or what was it? If you're gonna do cash, it's 29 an acre. If you're doing seller finance, it's 34.5. I don't know why Daphne offered you a free acre, but it works on the numbers, I guess, because you're putting a large down payment. So we will honor that no matter which route you choose to go. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then just to be completely transparent, we're in no hurry to sell. We have plenty of buyers. It's a great property. It's the most beautiful property we have. Based on whatever type of loan we're gonna get, right, to replace the debt, I can either do bank financing or seller financing, but there's going to be a cap, right? Because by the time we put our down payment with the bank, let's say we give them $1 million or $1.5 million down, whatever the magic number is, then that would leave me in a position where I don't have the cash anymore to carry the debt. So at some point, I may not be able to owner finance it anymore. So if y'all are trying to make a move, just the sooner the better.
Yeah.
Driving scarcity. That was driving scarcity. He's trying to get her to act now, because we may not have this opportunity for long.
I know that it does the numbers at Daphne, when it comes to doing like a larger down payment, right? To try to offset some of the owner financing. I know that you said we had a discussion, I don't know if it's short or not, we're talking about the one per acre. I don't know what that breaks down per acre. So if Daphne did that to me, that'd be great. And I think that's probably all I need.
Yeah, so it's 29,000 an acre if you're paying cash, and it's 34,500 per acre if we finance it. That helps us cover the debt. So
If you put 50 grand down, right, and then if we offset 1 acre, what are we looking at per acre?
29 or 34.5. So if you give 100 grand down, then you would save 34,500 plus interest.
Okay, but the interest is rather high, no? It's like what, 8, 9% or 10%?
Yeah, we don't do anything less than 10. My mentors that do this, they don't do anything less than 12. So I'm a beginner, so we stay at 10.
We're at 12 now, but what he did is he kind of relayed like other people. It's that other seller. They're the bad guys charging 12. I forget. I did sales training a while back, but you always make the hypothetical person the bad guy. Like, yeah, they're charging way more than us, but I'll give you a discount.
Agree. Well, I'll be honest, the 29,000 seems way better to me. So I might even just do a no doc. Especially since I have the money down for it.
Yeah, that makes you a strong buyer. So I think you having that large down payment, then we can kind of do something outside of the ordinary. So a no doc is fine. Yeah, that we can help with any of that stuff. And then also, again, depending on your exit strategy, if we had to look at like tax purposes or 1031s, like whatever tax dollars we can save you on the back end. We're not legal, we're not attorneys, and we're not giving legal or tax advice. But yeah, if we can show you how to save some change on the back end, then also you can recoup short-term gains 30%, long-term gains 20%. So again, if we understand your exit, then we can help you save money on the back end. So even let's say you feel like you're paying a little bit more for it up front, on the back end, you're so far into the green, it's crazy. So you're just helping us do a big giant deal is all you're doing, and you're putting yourself in a pretty powerful position. So Citrus is selling it up for 60 and 70, right, an acre. So we're at half of that price or less. And then also that big Microsoft plant that's coming, there's going to be like 1 million square. I think it's just north of us. Honestly, I don't know where it is, but it's going to be like 1 million square feet. So the economic boom for Castroville, nobody's paying attention, and we're kind of chuckling because we're going after Castroville real hard. If you wanted to go, we have stuff in Poteet, Somerset, San, Crapland, all that stuff. And then up north is way overpriced, like it's turning into Austin quick. East side over there towards Lavernia, it's maturing because of the school district, but it's still soft and it's still sand. Castroville is the only beautiful land anywhere close to San Antonio.
I know. I have a really awesome opportunity available in on sand, but sand is not my thing.
It's nobody's thing. Once we buy a sand lot, we're like, you know how in golf when your ball lands in the sand, and now you're stuck. When you buy a sand lot, good luck. See you in heaven, because you don't know if that thing's ever gonna move.
Exactly.
Yeah, in Castroville, I'm telling you, there's no rock. Yeah. My friend has a big ranch in Spring Branch that he broke up and he's selling. Nobody wants it. It's rock. Who in the hell wants to put in an $80,000 septic system? Castroville is the last beautiful land anywhere close to San Antonio, period. It's gonna explode.
Yeah.
It'll go to mark my words, it'll go to 100,000 per acre
I would say in max 5 years. And in 5 years' time, if it has not gone to 100,000 an acre, I'll pay you what you paid for it. So today, if you paid full price today, I'll buy it back for the exact same price. Well, I'm saying, I promise you, by that time, you're gonna call me and you're gonna be like, yeah, I'll take 100 an acre. And
So what Anthony's doing there is he's trying to pitch the deal back that if they ever want to sell, we'll buy it back because we don't have to market for that deal. He's already planting that seed before she even bought it. That if she ever wants to sell it, we'll buy it back because we'll just sell it again to somebody else. So it's good. It's good.
I'd be like, man,
Oh, and then what he was doing before is he's reaffirming all the information again towards the end of the call, because we're at the end of the call. He gets off right here. He's reaffirming all the information, everything they covered to make sure she's in stone.
how did we get here? You were so humble when we first met. So- Okay, well, yeah, let us know. It's there, it's available. It's the best lot we have. It's the only one that has asphalt pavement on a county road. Everything else is flag lot. So yeah, you're getting an awesome piece.
Sweet. And they're all sold, you said. I know, I was really interested in number 2.
Yeah, everything's sold except number 1 in the front. And then on the back, we have 2 people on the fence for the lot with the house. One person there's a 50,000 gallon per day water well on one of the lots in the back for 25 acres, I think. It's like every bit of like 800,000, but I think we have it listed for like 650 or something. But we didn't add any value for that 50,000 gallon per day water well. So that's that piece. Everybody's after that one. And then there's that one with a house in the back with an Airbnb that pulls in like 25 days a month. And with the house, it's like 980. So it's a really, really nice property. No, the back lots are still available. Yeah, I have
What number is that on the graph? You know?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 5 has the water well, 6 has the Airbnb house. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So you're going just based off of yield. Like let's say you have investor friends or whatever, and they're like, we have 500, we have $1 million. There's a certain amount of return that they have in mind from the 12 to 24 month mark or 36 month mark. So if we can understand the type of yield they're looking for, then I'll tell you which property I think would be your best and lowest point of entry, highest point of entry. And if you guys just want seller finance so that you can monetize it, a second time and then turn it around in 6 months or 12 months, well, we could walk through all that together and we'll split profit. I'll invest with you, whatever you guys want to do.
Okay. If you think you're really hard for me to pass on this one, man.
I'm telling you, there's a guy that does glamping resorts all over the United States, and he wants that one with the water well because he's like, I can open up shop within like 14 days. So he's gonna come through all these glamping camps with air condition, the most flood zone. Yeah, resort, and he's like, I can open on day 1 because I already have a $50,000 gallons. Crazy. So yeah, that one's gonna go quick. One with the Airbnb. There's a 25 acre tract for, I think it's listed for $599, and that one is like 26,000 an acre when it's worth 29. So that's another great piece, one of the back lots.
That's not industrial, or is it?
Yeah, that's all the same lot.
Oh, it's all the same lot.
Yeah, it's 122 acres, everything.
Okay. Okay, man, you gave me a lot to think about. All right.
Yep, just go lay down and just meditate, pray rosary. Let me know what you think.
You're humala, do what you gotta do, and jump on it.
Get a plane, go to Tibet, go to the monastery where the monks are meditating.
Oh, God,
Stay there for
fun.
30 days. Don't drink any water, don't eat any food, and then just
I'm gonna fast for this land.
let me know what you think.
I will. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Thank-
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Awesome. Let me know how I can help. Thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Jesse.
And that is a sales call right there that I hope you all enjoy for everybody here. Textbook sales call from being defensive from the beginning. No offense to Mike Flores here, but this dude killer came in and
That's a lot of offense to Mike Flores, but yes, I was just talking.
Mike Flores can hear you. He's right there.
I could have totally done that by myself.
no, it was good.
Where's the front door?
On the other side. Yeah, we're going. Oh, that was a good call. That was a good call. I hope you
That
all
was a
enjoyed
great call.
that. Any questions? Any questions about that? What you like, what you didn't like? That was a good call. We actually got recorded with video, which is very rare. Very rare. I hope you all enjoyed that today.
That was strong.
Yeah, it was really good too because she was coming really abrasive in the beginning, and for her to be like, yeah, at the end, she's like, yeah, yeah, it's really making it hard. You're really making it hard to say no. That's good
That's
stuff.
pretty much the goal.
Good stuff. Um, any questions about that? Anything you liked? Anything you didn't like?
I love the fact that there was no real aggressive sales technique.
Yeah,
It's not needed.
Yeah.
When you've got something great, she was coming up with the excuses why,
yep,
or the
100%.
reasons why, I should say, why she needed it, why she wanted it.
Yep. So it's understanding their goal. So like one thing we ask every buyer is what they're gonna do with it, because it kind of we want to help advise them what what their exit strategy is. So some of our buyers they hold, some of our buyers are gonna develop, some people are gonna build their dream house on it, whatever think they want to do. But we kind of like, okay, you have to go to this next process, or if they want to build something like, hey, if it needs a water line, hey, the water line's gonna be up in 6 months. We're kind of setting the picture and setting like we're answering their questions they might have before they even ask it. So we're always trying to be upfront with any questions or concerns that they have, just because if you try and elude or hide something, it's you're you're not going to get the best overall result of what you want. I had a call. Is Diego here?
Yep.
Diego's here. I don't know if he could talk.
Yes, sir, I am.
Did he tell you? Can you tell the story of how he sold the guy more lots in Poteet?
Oh, yeah, sure. You
Okay,
talking
so
about this recent one with the
yeah,
30 acres?
yeah. So Diego has a cool story. So Diego, we had to go back. Diego found some buyers for lots of Poteet, and Anthony's like, "Hey, we have to change whatever they're buying." And Diego was not happy about that, but I'll let Diego tell the story.
Sure. Well, it all started with the 11-acre lots in Somerset. They originally wanted lot 3 over there, and as you know, with this game, whoever comes first gets the worm. So they were a little bit too late, um, and the property they wanted had already been sold the day before. So I was pretty upset. I was like, "Oh man, they really wanted the lot. They wanted to put the money down. They're ready to go. They wanted to buy it all cash." Um, and it just so happened that the 10-acre petite lot was down the street, so I took them there just to give them a second option before they made up their mind. So they they looked at it, but they hadn't really wanted it at first. It wasn't until after that they saw the high demand in that area that they and that they lost the 11-acre lot that they decided, okay, maybe we should go ahead and put in an offer on this too. So I give them a call back. I give them, the not so good news that the other lot had been sold, and I told them, but we still have, about 16, 17-acre, 17, 10-acre lots available here. Would you be interested in putting an offer? So we were able to agree on 20 acres, and they hadn't even looked at the property. They didn't even walk the property. They just knew exactly what they wanted. So they did negotiate a little bit with us. Not gonna lie, they got a really good price for those 20-acre lots. They got the two for 335, and me and Anthony, we're trying to come up with a strategy to um, get them to help out with the building of the road, or at least use us for the building of the road and the utilities. So Anthony told me, hey, let's try and set up a meeting with them um, at the lot and talk and see what we can work out. So we met up there last Wednesday, and Anthony and I met them at the little house. and we planted the options for them. We told them, hey, listen, we can build a road, a paved road, and we can add the water meter, the electric meter. And it turned out that they wanted to be in a different spot, and originally from where they were. And I and the other thing that they cared about, the reason why they wanted to switch spots was because they wanted more privacy. They didn't want to have too many neighbors in the back, in the front, on the left, or the right. So Anthony looked at me, and I looked at Anthony, and we are just like, well, just get 10 more acres. Just it'll be more privacy. And we said that kind of jokingly, but the buyer, it was the wife. She was like, you know what, that doesn't sound like a bad idea at all. So then we started getting more into the nitty gritty, and they told us they wanted 2 water wells, 1 water meter, and then the electric meter. And that was pretty much it. We planted them the quote on how much all that would be, and we added the 10 more acres, and we ended up pretty much doubling that sale. So the original sale was 335,000, and an hour later, now the price went up to 600,000 with the 10 more acres, and of course we're doing them a big favor and building the road and adding the water wells because they wanted to, and then the water meter and the electric meter. They told me they wanted to think about it for a little bit. I got on my car, I left, they left. 5 minutes later, they called me back and they said, let's do it. And
So the reason why I wanted Diego to talk this up, because they were only interested in buying 20, and then Anthony upsold them to buy 30.
yeah, and he said it so jokingly too. He was just like, oh, if you want privacy, I mean, you just get 10 more acres. And you'd be surprised, those little questions can really make somebody think. And sure enough, they went with it. They said, the hell with it, let's do it. So yeah, no, it was very surprising. I was not expecting that at all. I'm still excited about it. They should be closing by the end of the month, hopefully mid January, for 30 acres, $600,000 deal.
No, what's cool about that one is they're buying all cash. So they were only willing to spend, how much were the contract for 11 acres that they were originally going to buy?
That one was 199.
Okay, so they're going to buy 11 acres for 199. He then sold them 20 acres for 400, and then Anthony, it was 20 acres for 330, right?
335, yes.
And
And
then
then
we upsold them to 30 for 600.
yeah, I honestly was not expecting that at all, man.
So we actually raised the price per acre and sold them 10 more acres.
We did. We sure did. But I mean, at the end of the day, they're gonna have to pay somebody for the water and the electricity, and we're already gonna be doing a whole plan to develop that entire land. So we already have our cookies in the jar, and we seem very confident that we were going to be the best people to let that to let develop their land as well.
So I wasn't privy to this conversation. Anthony kind of told me about it after it happened. So the way Anthony pitched it is that, hey, we're already going to develop that land. We're going to bring the water to your property line. So once we bring the water to your property line, you now have a valuable property. Just because if you subdivide those 10-acre lots with frontage, that's what we do. So I told Anthony, I was like, dude, you should get an option to buy it back at double the price, because once we bring the water to the property, it's worth triple.
Oh man.
So I told
That's
Anthony,
true.
this is one of the things where, like, yes, we're selling 30 acres, and yes, we can get the option to buy back for double at 1.2. But once we do 1 acre lots around that whole property, those 30 acres might be worth a lot of money. I think we're projecting 1 acre lots for 79. So you use 79,000 times 30, and they're all going to have frontage for easy subdivide that we look for in calls like this. I mean, he can do the math real quick. And that's where Anthony upsold him. So 79,000 times 30 is 2.3. So if he holds out and waits for us to develop the property, he'll get a 4x return, potentially, for buying 30 acres for 600. But the value that gives us is that gives us 600 liquid to redevelop into the property, so we don't have to come out of cost and raise that money. So that's the value we get. The value he gets is the value add opportunity of us developing out the whole property, and he gets acreage with frontage.
Hey, Nate, I
Hey,
actually have
can you hear me properly?
Yeah. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, go ahead. Homeboy was gonna talk.
yeah, I had a
Okay.
quick question. Daniel, just kind
I just wanted to touch on.
of, go ahead, Mike.
One and somebody go. All right, you're muted. You're
All right.
muted.
All right. So then I just wanted to touch on this real quick because I think it's important. I was talking to somebody about how don't assume that people don't have money. You know, just he asked the question. It might have been a joke, but it turns out they did have the ability to buy more. It put everybody in a better situation. With every person you talk to, you automatically, well, they don't have another 10 or 15 or 20,000 or whatever the case may be. Don't ever assume that. If you ask the question, you'll find out more often than not that these people do have money and they do have money to spend. It's all about you asking the right questions, and that's it.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Thanks, Mike. Go ahead, Harker.
So I guess the question I had is if I was hearing that right in the video, they say the market rate of borrowing money right now is 10 or 12%.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it costs us more than that to borrow money.
My follow-up there is like if like you get a seller at again principal only 0% interest, like what kind of premium can you pay on the total price point? At what point, if it's 0% interest, if market like if the market rate is 10 to 12?
It depends what the down payment is. So, did you see Navigating the Offer by chance?
I don't think so.
Okay, this is homework for everybody here. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's in the chat. Navigating the Offer. So, Navigating the Offer is a talk I did. Anthony was, Anthony did not. He was there, but he didn't. I did this one. So it's our methodology of how we make offers. And it all depends on what you can sell it for. So hypothetically, let's say we have $1 million property and we get it for 0% interest. If I get that thing for 5% down or less, I mean 0 down, man, I will take whatever price they want. Because if it's worth $1 million, I'll just take the finance arbitrage. So I'll sell that thing for $1 million at 12%, and I'll just I'll do the math so you can see. $1 million, just 12-point arbitrage. Let's say it's 360 months. 360 months is $27.77 a month. Just by charging 12% interest, I can make $7,000 a month net. That's buying for $1 million,
Free and
selling for
clear.
$1 million.
Yeah, I was playing around with the whole calculator too. So I was like, if that's making sense, then I guess I have to watch that video.
100%, 100%. So that's where it comes down to where, like, if you get long-term seller finance, I can pretty much pay whatever price you want. I can pay $1.2 million and sell it for $1 million and still make money. Because I have the finance arbitrage of the whole deal. So it's less about like the property, and everybody's like, oh, the property's not the right fit. I mean, if it's worth $1 million, you can sell it for $1 million and they give that thing 0% down and 0% interest. Yeah, I'm gonna take that deal because I know I can make money on that deal just by selling. Like, you can make, hypothetically, let's say you sold that thing for cash, like they want $1 million and they're gonna give you 0% interest. You can sell a thing for cash for 800, and now you have 800 cash that you service $27.70 a month, which that brings your value. You're essentially borrowing money at that point for let me do this real quick so I can zero. If I sold that thing for 800,000 cash, you're essentially getting 1% money. Who doesn't like 1% money? I don't know.
Right.
Like, if you can flip that 800,000 and get more than 1%, you're gonna be all right to service that debt. So it's all up when that's why I really, 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 really love that arbitrage. It is so underrated. If you can get seller financing on these properties, you are going to make a lot of money, and you might not even need our money if you can get the money with no money down. So that's the whole thing about so asking for seller financing. I ask for seller financing on every deal first because I don't know if they're open to it. They might be worth $20 million and like, oh, you're gonna pay me an extra 2,700 a month cash flow. Yeah, that sounds amazing. I already have $5 million in the bank. What do I need another $1 million for? You know, so you really have to um, make those offers, man. Talk to more people. So our whole thing is once we get the fund in place, we're gonna be a little bit of bullies. Hey, I want 20% down. All right, 20% down. If you finance the rest of 0%, now we get 80% of the value as 0%. We're still gonna hit a home run.
Yeah, 20% is what I mean. Loans are normally required at, right?
That's normally a bank's offer.
Mm.
If you're doing commercials, sometimes they bring you 30 to 40% down. So it's depends on the asset class. But I mean, 20% down is still a win. 10% down is a win. Like once we get the fund up in place, I mean, we're gonna like 10, 20%, 30% is totally within the realm. As long as they seller finance the rest of it at 0%, I mean, we're gonna make some money on this thing, especially if we can value add. So like the cool thing that we do is like if we buy it for $1 million, it might be worth $1 million now, but if we can subdivide it and sell it for 2 or 1.5 and we get 0% financing, ooh, it's gonna be a really great deal. So this is the whole thing of like me and Anthony, like we're gonna record a podcast about this. We talked about this the other day, but we're gonna record about being broke has forced us to be creative, and now we've become better investors because we're forced to be creative. We're not buying with cash. Now that we're gonna get cash in hand with using the fund, we're still gonna leverage in on seller finance because seller finance just amplifies the cash we have on hand to a great degree. So now we just so act like you're broke whenever you're in this game because you can accelerate your capital and leverage more assets if you're getting 0% financing. It's a win-win.
And I mean, also at that point, whatever difference in down payment is in your pocket.
Yeah, exactly. So the lower down payment, it makes us better because we can essentially seller finance anything down. Down payments come to us. If we need $100,000 down, well, we need one buyer to buy cash. So that's where like Diego's deal is good because he's buying 3 lots cash. That means we get a cash infusion of 600K and we're only putting down 500. So that's a huge benefit when you can piece the deals together and you might only need a little bit of you might need like for instance that deal is 500K down 2 million purchase price. We have a buyer buying 30 acres of the lots for 600K cash. If you just need a transactional funding for 60 days and you're going to reimburse that money, boom, you can find that pretty easily because you already have an end buyer that's going to buy 600K cash and you get deed to the property for 500. So this Poteet deal is going to be killer, and just this deal alone we'll probably do several million off of it by the end of the year. It's gonna be crazy. I mean, we'll make 600 off of it hopefully by the end of the month. Which is crazy. Which is, if you think about it, it's almost it's over a quarter of the purchase price. It's crazy. So the power of seller finance really amplifies what you can do with the capital you have. Good question. Any other questions? Peter, you want to introduce yourself?
Yes. What's up, guys? My name's Peter. Just joined the group last week. Connected with Anthony, and yeah, excited to be here. Excited to work with you guys. Something that Daniel mentioned earlier in the call is kind of tapping back on these other listings or in these other properties that you guys have. So I'm actually working with Anthony on a deal where a wholesaler that's not in this group got the deal under contract back in August, and they got it locked up too high, and they had me reach back out to the agent, and I reached out to the agent, and the agent did know that I knew this wholesaler, and I was actually able to get the property under contract for 200 grand less than they had under contract, and there was our spread. So yeah,
So if you have any of those type of situations where you got it too high, just send them to me and let's see if we can make it work.
100%. This is there was a video I watched recently, and I posted inside we have a Facebook chat for a couple people in here, and I posted it in there. It was the guy how he negotiates Facebook Marketplace cars. So he's buying cars. So he has a group chat with him and his 4 buddies, and he finds a car that he wants to buy. Let's say, and the thing of the video, it's like $7,000. So he has his 4 buddies. Hey, I'll buy it for 3. I'll buy it for 2. I'll buy it for 2,500. So now the seller has it in their mind that I'm getting offers for 3. Maybe it's only worth 3, and then he'll come in and buy it for 3,500.
Yeah, because a lot of these agents, you guys probably know, some of them are so delusional the way they think that these properties are valued.
Yeah.
So if everyone's just coming in and giving them low offers, they're going to reconsider what the true market value is, rather than what the comps are showing on Zillow.
100%. So this is one thing I want to allude to before we get off the call is your full price seller finance offer is not embarrassing. Your agent might think it's embarrassing, but you can always ask them when's the last time they received a full price offer on their property that they're representing. I guarantee you they're like, "Oh, I've never received a full price offer. It's always been this weight was significantly lower." Okay, then present the offer. I had a I was talking to somebody, one of the students here, and they had that situation come up, and I'm like, don't make sure this is a full price offer. It's just not cash. So please present it to your seller. Like, this is a very serious offer. And the whole thing is if we can get seller finance on it, boom, we're in the money. We're in the money. And overpaying doesn't matter. It matters less. Please watch the Navigating the Offer. Overpaying matters less when you get seller finance long term.
I have a quick question. So is there any situation where you can offer full price even if it's like ridiculously overpriced to make it work?
Yeah. Watch Navigating the Offer, please.
Okay.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Watch the video. It
yeah. I had a
answers
quick
every question you've asked.
Yeah, it's a good video, man. I really put a lot of work into that video, and it came out really well. So please go watch it. And it breaks down our whole like methodology of why it makes sense. Go ahead, Marvin.
This was for Diego's deal, the 30 acres. Like, how much EMD would you guys like require for something like that, or is it non-refundable? What?
I think I don't know. Like, Mike, you know how much they put EMD on that one? I don't know. I just work here.
Sorry, what was the question?
How much EMD did they put down for the petite lots?
So we were
for the
originally
243?
10 grand per 10-acre lot.
How much?
So we were originally asking 10 grand per 10-acre lot.
Okay.
So it would be like 30,000.
Which is 5%.
Yeah,
Right.
we usually ask for 10,000 down every now and then, depending on the buyer. We might take a little bit less, but usually 10,000 is good skin in the game to make sure they don't back out.
Yep, because we've asked for less in the past, and they'll just back out. And we'd rather have them committed to buying, because committed to buying is we can sell that note. We can do a lot of things with that. And if there's enough, if it's not enough, if they get cold feet, they'll just back out. Good question.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Daphne says, no questions. I've officially been left speechless. The call and what you just talked about right now left me like. Yeah, this game gets pretty crazy. There's a lot of things to learn. If you don't know and understand it all, it's okay. If you hang around long enough, you'll learn. Right, Diego? Right, Mike?
Well, you bet, buddy. I've been at it for 6 months and I didn't see anything for a while, and I had a lot of deals fall apart, and I just had to be consistent and just keep learning. Every failure is an opportunity for learning.
Yep.
Most definitely. You're gonna have struggles, and I tell everybody, especially when they start, don't focus on one deal. Focus on 4 or 5. and just continue to, keep talking to people, stay in contact with people, and more importantly, follow up. You will have no problem making money in this business if you make phone calls and you follow up. So all it really takes. Everything else you will learn as you go, all the little tips and tricks. They're just things you pick up from listening to conversations like we have daily. But you got to have a strong spirit, thick skin, and the will to win, and just continue moving forward. And you will definitely have a happy 2024 for sure.
So I'm gonna leave you all with a tip today. Scan other Facebook groups. There's a bunch of other land groups out there, people that have opportunities. I comment and sometimes in those groups just to kind of see what happens here and there. I commented on one and I got sent an opportunity where we could probably make 40 grand on a deal. And it was just me commenting on making a comment and somebody already had a deal in hand. So if you don't have a deal in hand, maybe you can find somebody else that has one and you can make money on that. So you don't necessarily have to start from scratch at any point. You can find somebody that has one that needs help. And that's where I'll leave it. Y'all have I hope 2024 is going to be amazing. I hope y'all come along for the ride and make some money with us. All this money we're raising trickles down through the ecosystem of Hivemind. So if you are stuck or need help in certain areas, or you're good at one thing or another, we might have a lot of opportunity coming up in the future. So I hope everybody here finds a way to monetize some part of the group in some way, shape, or form, and let's have a good year this year. All right.
Raw.
There you go. Everybody here, 2024 is going to be amazing. We'll see you all next week, next Tuesday. Bye.
If you would like to receive hot leads right to your cell phone in a text message, check out hiveleads.io, and you can receive the same leads we've been receiving in our campaign for 3.5 years that's made us successful in the land game. Check us out.